Hi there, my name is Rachel, and today I would like to go through some of the coloring books that I collected this summer. I wasn't able to do any videos this summer, and I had continued to pick up books that I was interested in, so I wanted to go through some of the new releases that came out just this year. I have done some flip-throughs of some of these books, but I have not done flip-throughs of all of them, and so I just kind of wanted to give a broad look at some of the books that came out this summer. For people that may not actively go and hunt for new releases and things like that, to find out some of the books that are now available. I recently did a Halloween and a autumn collection, which included all the books in the Halloween theme and autumn themes that I collected during the summer as well. So these won't include those. This will just have the other themes of the books that I have picked up. And I do apologize to people because I didn't realize I wasn't going to be able to make videos this summer, and so I have a lot of backlog of things that I want to do. There was a lot of people had done some requests on some different tutorials and stuff that I'm still planning on doing. I just didn't have a chance to get to any of that this summer. So anyway, let's just take a look at some of these books. And I'm going to start off with this one by Coco Wyo. I look out for these guys' books because they come out with a number of books throughout the year. They've been coming out with quite a few, and they're always, in my opinion, they're always quality books. So I really like these books. And this one is called Midnight Tarot. I know not a lot of people are into tarot, but I do actually kind of like as a theme. I like it. This is a nice thick book. So I really like this book. It's black. Not only is it the black ink backings. There's also the midnight ones, so the pictures all feature the black backgrounds. What's nice about this book is that it features all of the standard cards in a tarot deck. So you'll have your major arcanas, which are all featured at the beginning. The Fool and the Magician. Now, one thing to note about this book is there are a couple of typos. So that is not spelled correctly, and there was a couple of ones in here that listed the wands, but they had the S in front of it like it was swords. So just a little side note, and Justice is missing its eye. But there weren't that many. There weren't that many typos. There was only like 4 of the different ones. The Ace of Swords. I want to say it was the Ace of Wands. Yeah. So it says the Ace of Wands. So there are those minor typos in there, but for the most part, this book features all of the cards in the tarot deck. And what's nice is they are thematically very similar to the Rider-Waite deck. So the imagery is very similar to the most old-fashioned, the most basic tarot deck, the most common tarot deck maybe. But they are their own take. So it is not just a representation of the Rider-Waite tarots. They are their own pictures, but they have the same themes and imagery kind of in their pictures. And as you can see, really beautiful illustrations, really nice, crisp, clean artwork. So I really love this book, and I'm really glad they came out with it. It looks really beautiful. So this was one of my one of my lucky finds. Like, I wasn't expecting it, and it's something that if I was looking, I would be kind of hunting for this kind of a book, and it just kind of happened to pop up. And this one was real recent. This is a real recent release of theirs. I think I actually got it right at the beginning of October. So, beautiful artwork. Okay, and then I also got some other ones from Coco Wyo. And again, these are mostly going to be from August through September, most of these. A few of them will be a little earlier than that. And they also came out with this Goddesses book. And these are not the black backing. Well, I think a few of them might have the night pictures, but for the most part, I think they are the normal pictures. But just really beautiful, really detailed artwork in here. I really like their artists. They do a really good job. They have great composition and they have really beautiful lines. So, really pretty book. And these are obviously goddesses from all different different cultures. So there's some Egyptian ones in here. There's, you know, Celtic, Greek, all those kinds of things. So really nice collection of historic legend figures. Really beautiful artwork, though. So that was a Coco Wyo book. And then a little bit different, they put out a lot of different themes. So here we have cozy cabins and we have interiors. And again, I really like their artists, so I tend to pick up, you can find a lot of books of these themes, and a lot of them came out from different companies too this summer, but I really like the Coco Wyo books, so I tend to go for those a lot. So these are your cozy cabins. And I do like that they also, like, if they're going to do a night scene or something, they put in some of those dark backgrounds for you. So it kind of makes it a nice contrast in the picture. So, really cute book. Really cozy. Nice little kitty cat. That one, the print seems a little off on this one. I think it's supposed to be like trees in the fog in the distance, so it's kind of like almost like a grayscale in there, but it kind of looks a little blurry. I love the stonework on these. Really nice pictures. So that was the cozy cabins, and then the interiors, very thematically the same. Have just really beautiful room setups. Just nice. Nice cozy rooms, kind of the rooms you kind of want to just step into that room. And so I don't do a lot of architecture coloring books, but every once in a while it's nice to kind of break away from, you know, subject that are more, you know, people, animals, that kind of subject matter, and just kind of do, it's almost like scenery, but interior scenery. Just really great rooms. So wonderful books. I really like this company, and they've been putting out so many books all the time that are just lots of different categories and subjects. So if there's one book you don't care for, that's okay, because they probably have, you know, 2 others that you will like. So it's kind of fun to keep an eye on them, just to see what new ideas they're coming out with. This is also a Coco Wyo book. Now, I want to compare it with this one, because I ordered actually both these books kind of blind. Like, I saw the covers. Now, this is Coloring Book Cafe. This is Coco Wyo. Coloring Book Cafe oftentimes does print their pictures, but I actually came across this book before they put the pictures out. So I hadn't seen the pictures in this book, and I hadn't seen the pictures in this book, but I was kind of in the mood for a self-care coloring book at the time, and so I got this one first, and I really like this one. Obviously the pictures are very much in the style of the Coloring Book Cafe, but they also have these words, the little sayings. Take a walk, you know, you can just kind of flip to it. Spend time in nature, sit in the sun, sing and dance to your favorite music. So it's kind of fun. I like this book for the idea of just kind of flipping open to a page and then saying, that's kind of a fun idea. You know, I'm going to color the picture, and I'm going to, you know, make some time to do the activity. Now, the thing about the self-care is, you know, sometimes you're not in the mood. And I've been looking actually for kind of a nice self-care kind of like card deck to do so you can kind of pick out like one or two different things and then say that's the one I'm going to do, that's what I'm not going to do. And obviously with the self-care you can always say, oh, I like to do all these things, and you can pick. But like if you don't make a specific time and effort to do a specific activity, if you have basically if you have all the choices available all the time, and of course you do, you're not going to choose anything. But if you say, oh, this is the one I came across, then that's what I'm going to do. So I really enjoyed this book for the idea that it had the little suggestions on the side. And actually I ended up getting the PDF of this book too, so that I could print out small versions like this on a heavy cardstock paper, and then I could make like my own card deck where you just kind of color the picture and then you pull the card out and you can write things that apply to yourself specifically and stuff on the back. Unfortunately, after I did that, my printer stopped printing, so I wasn't able to do that. But it's still a project that I have in the works. So I really liked this book, and I really liked that it had the little suggestions. So like this has kind of been the book that I've been like all happy about recently. And then I got this one, and this book is a very nice book, and I really like this book. But because I'd already gotten this one, and this is the one that I really loved the way it was presented. This one is presented a little differently, where it just kind of has simple drawings. It doesn't have like the little suggestions. I think a few of them have suggestions, but they're just kind of like people in relaxed states or people enjoying themselves, which is a great concept. But as a self-care book, I like the one where it kind of gave you the suggestions of an idea of, hey, this is something you can look forward to doing today. This just it has like positive affirmations, I guess. So it's definitely a cute little self-care book, something to pull out when you just need some stress relief and stuff like that. But because I ordered both these books like the same time and I hadn't seen either of them, and I ended up getting the other one first. This one kind of like really was better than I was expecting, and in comparison, this one is great, but it didn't hold up to how well I like the other one. So this is a really nice self-care book. I don't want to say that it's not a nice self-care book, but because I got it at the exact same time as the other one, and I liked the concept of the other one, I liked how the other one was presented. I like the other book better than this book, but this book is still a different art style, still nice, homey feel, nice. So they do have like little suggestions, but this is almost like sketchbooky, like just little drawings and stuff here and there, different artwork. But so this is a really cute book, but this was the book that really kind of wowed me for when I saw it. I was just really. And I mean, they're simple. It's really simple things, but it's just put together so well, and it's just so simple. You could just kind of flip open to a page and be like, huh, I guess I could do that right now, So this was Coloring Book Cafe's self-care book that they came out with. Now, I actually picked up a lot of the Coloring Book Cafe books. I'm not going to show all of the ones I have. They have quite an extensive library, and I really like their artwork. They have lots of different themes. Animals, there's a lot of country. They do a lot of country. They did a lot of summer ones. I'm not as big on summer. I'm much more of a fall person. So they did some summer ones and stuff. So I have collected a lot of the ones they've come out with. But I think of my collection, I probably have more Coloring Book Cafe books than other ones. So I'm not going to go through all of the ones I have. But if you like the style of these pictures, you should definitely check out their website. So this one I like because of the country cottages. I'm kind of hoping to get out some Thomas Kincaid paintings, like calendars and stuff, and then try and do the same style of like the lighting and things like that in a Thomas Kincaid fashion with this book. Because I like the idea of the country cottages. So really cute cottages. I love thatch. If they did thatch in the U.S., I might try for a thatch house, but I also know there are a lot of work and upkeep too, but thatch just looks so fun. So that was their country homes book, and like I said, they came out with Castle Gardens and Coastal Gardens, and I think I recently just got a compilation book of all of their garden books too. So they actually have a really large library, and they put out a lot of books every year too. again, when I'm looking for books, I kind of keep an eye on certain companies. So Coco Wyo, Coloring Book Cafe, Jade Summer, those are the kind of the ones I kind of scope first to see if they've got something, and then I go hunting to see if there's just something else new out there. In relation to Coloring Book Cafe, this year they came out with a Be Silly brand. So this is actually also done by the company that does Coloring Book Cafe, but they wanted to release some kid books, and I think that's a great idea. I don't tend to buy the kid-centric ones. The reason I picked this book up is this is their dinosaur one for kids, and what's really cool is it has the dinosaur, and then it has Pachycephalosaurus, the scientific name, the dinosaur that it is. And I was a big dinosaur buff when I was a kid, so I love dinosaurs. So I always like coloring in dinosaurs, and I realize dinosaurs is oftentimes kind of considered a kid subject, but I mean, adults can certainly do them. And what I really liked about this book, and the reason I actually got this book for me, was because a lot of the dinosaur books I see out there are that Zentangle or Zendoodle, whatever you want to call that, where you take the subject matter and you fill it in with swirls and patterns and stuff, and those are nice, but I actually just like doing the actual skin and the real thing. So I was impressed with this as a dinosaur coloring book, even for adults, because it had, really nice, they're not too cartoony. I mean, sometimes you get those really bold, just one single dinosaur, no background. So these have the backgrounds. The dinosaurs are well drawn. I love that they have the names. So this book I really liked. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So I was really impressed with that. And then I got my copy of my book, and one of my daughters saw it and was like, I want that book. So what ended up happening was I had to buy myself my own copy because she got it. But it is a kid-centered book. They are billing it towards children. But again, if you're an adult and you like coloring dinosaurs, this is a really nice dinosaur coloring book. So, and this one, a lot of the Coloring Book Cafe books are 25 images. I believe this one is 50. Yeah, 50 images. So a little bit thicker. Nice coloring book. You can get to this coloring book from their Coloring Book Cafe website, and then if you want the digital copy, they do have a link there to their Be Silly digital books as well. Okay, and then I have Jade Summer. Now, Jade Summer hasn't put out a lot of books this year, and I did get their autumn and some of their Halloween ones. So those I already put in those individual videos. But this was their Country Summer, and I like these books because they're just lovely. Lovely little scenes. Not sure if they're all this direction. I don't think they are. Well, or maybe they are. But yeah, these are just lovely, lovely little scenes. And so sometimes I'll say, oh, I really like this because it's a realistic, or sometimes I'll say, oh, I really like this because it's, it's not too realistic. I love a variation in styles, and one of the reasons I try and show the works and stuff is so that, depending on what you like, I like a variety. I like to have choice, and I like to have different things. So I can like several styles, but I like to kind of show them off because maybe you only like one, and you seek out. Now this one seems a little bit fainter in the printing, and I don't know if that was a printing thing or if that was the way it's just. Okay, so there are some this way, but books that are centered this way are actually, I know they're really good for left-handed colorists. So if you are a left-handed colorist and you like to find books where you don't have to worry about the binding on your hand and taking out the pages, it's nice to know that there's some books that have a lot. So this one has a good section of the long way pictures, but I think they probably organized it now so that the first half of the book is the portrait, so the landscape direction. So, but lovely little summer scenes. So that was the the Jade Summer book that I picked up. And then I happened upon, this is like a note, it's called KOLORKICK. And this is a newer company. All of the books listed on Amazon for these guys were released in 2021. So it's like a brand new company. And I love to support brand new companies. I love to support new artists trying to start out. But it's really hard to wade through all of the options on Amazon and trying to decipher what is, you know, the stolen scam books versus, you know, authentic, genuine artists. So this one, they did have examples of their works, and it's important to have examples of your works if you're trying to sell independent and people don't know you. But their artwork is, this was advertisements for their other books. But their artwork is really beautiful. So the books stand up well. It's clearly, you know, well-designed artwork. It's not stolen, shrunken, digital. It's really beautiful artwork. So this company's put out several books, maybe like 8 or so this year, but they've all started coming out this year. So they're kind of a new one, but they're really putting out quality coloring books. Really nice. It's a very nice realistic style. Now it does have thin lines, so if you prefer bolder for coloring it in, it's not faint, but it is thinner lines, which can be nice because then when you're finished coloring, it can also enhance the not line art look at the end. So, but they clearly have their own style. They clearly have nice artists, and it's not one of those books where they have, like, you know, 5 nice pictures and then the rest of the book is just a bunch of filler digital copies. So this is a genuine coloring book company that has just started up, and they're putting out some really beautiful books. Now this, I think it's because this book has 2 copies of the pages. So then that's the second half. But really wonderful style, very realistic, really beautiful pages. So I'm kind of glad I came across this KOLORKICK. This is their gorgeous gowns, and then this was their Wondrously Wild. So that one was very like almost period timepiece clothings of Victorian, like early 1800s, those kinds of eras. And this one is more fantasy. These are like animal people, half animals. So they have just some really cute little things. But again, you can see it's a, you know, it's a legitimate artistic company putting out their own artwork. These are not stolen pictures. So I'm glad. I like to find new artists that are just kind of popping up. I like supporting the artists that are out there, but it's kind of nice to help new artists get themselves established. And so I appreciate when a company, you know, takes the time to, you know, put real effort into their works and not just kind of, you know, throw some pictures out there to hope to get people to buy it. So this is a really unique, interesting kind of idea. But as you can see, very real quality artwork in these pictures. So if you like these kind of styles, these kind of pictures, then this KOLORKICK might be a company worth, you know, keeping an eye on. And then also, because I do like a lot of the fantasy, this one is the Visionary Fairy Book 2. Now, there is a Visionary Fairy Book 1 out there. This is the only one I have. This is by Christine J. von Lossberg. And as far as I know, she's not like a coloring book artist. Like, I think she only has, like, this one and the first one. I could be wrong in that. But I think she's more of a, you know, doing other kind of artwork, so these are more like a couple one-offs. But these are super detailed pictures. Really beautiful. It does have 2 copies, and the 2 copies are right next to each other. So you do one, then you do the next one. Some have one whole set and then one whole set. These it also has this really patterned black backing, which kind of makes the book feel fancier. Even, I mean, it's just black backing, but it gives it a little slightly fancier look. But she does all of these kind of fantasy scenes. You can almost kind of see these like those old Renaissance paintings, or even, you know, tapestries. So really cool, interesting, unique works. So, and again, I like to kind of come across things that are not, you know, not as well known. I mean, you might know this particular author and say, well, she is well known, but I think in the coloring world, she's not a name that a lot of people, you know, know about. So, but really, really interesting. Very ethereal, I guess. It is fantasy, but it's fantasy at a almost a celestial level, I guess. So, really beautiful and interesting pictures here. So, that was the Visionary Fairy. And then a very well-known artist, and I always have problems with people's names. This is Janna Prosvirina. This book she just came out with this year. She has really beautiful artwork. I think she came out with a earlier one, a Pixies and Fairies one this year too. So this was one of her newest releases. I want to say September. She does have the thumbnails at the back of the book for all of her pictures. And then she has her artwork. So this one is the Whimsical Darlings. So you could kind of think of, I guess, darlings probably would translate to children. So you could think of these as, you know, a children, coloring children, not for children, but of children, I mean. So really cute. She's got a really lovely style. I like her style of people. So that was her newest release. Really fun. And again, I've been hunting for some new, you know, new artists and stuff. And this one, kind of came across it, called Cute Coloring Book for Adults and Teens, Adorable Fancy Animals to Color. So it doesn't have like a title. It's more like a description title. Really, really cute style. And this one I don't know if the artist only has one book out, or if they have other ones, but these really cute little characters, but it's like a mixture of real animal and cartoony animal, and then also fantastical animals. So you can see like stag horns and stuff on a almost like a squirrel rabbit kind of creature here. So they're really, really unique designs. I really like this one. They have some really cool pictures in here. One thing, though, they also have, just in the mix, they kind of have a few pictures that are not thematically the same as some of the other ones. They're not bad pictures, they just kind of seem a little bit out of place with the rest of the books. They have kind of some of these pictures in here, which, and they're fine. They're still, I mean, they're still whimsical creatures and that, but they're not quite, this is like a specific style, and some of those other ones are a little bit less. Like this is a really beautiful, you know, Peacocks and Tangle, but it doesn't seem like it is in theme with the other, the fantasy creatures that they're making up in this book. So really fun book, but I do feel like there is a little bit of a discord between some of the pictures and then kind of the theme of the book. But really like this book, and again, I don't think this is a well-known artist. I'm not even sure who does this book, so I would have to look that up. I will have a link for this book in the descriptions, though. And then we have this one. Again, this was a new release by somebody, as far as I know, Special Art. Not a well-known one, or it's just a startup one, but I really like this book because it's very much like pen and ink sketches of animals, all sorts of animals. It's a very nice style, and this really lends itself well to practicing like fur and well, mostly fur in this case, but realistic animal textures and stuff. You can practice with color pencils, you can practice with markers. The fact that they have kind of the direction of the fur really helps when you're trying to color in and fill in, to kind of know what direction to do your pencil strokes or your, you know, your marker strokes or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to trying out different different mediums and stuff to get really nice looking animal furs and stuff. So I love doing fur. So I was really happy to find this book. And it's a nice quality book. As you can see, it's another one that has kind of those fancy patterned black ink backings. And nice large, so you really have a good, if you're trying to learn to do furs, this would be a perfect book. You don't have to do the drawing, and like I said, you can follow the direction of the fur growth, but big large areas, so you're not trying to do like fur textures in tiny little sections. So really love that I found this book of the realistic animals. It's by Special Art, so it doesn't have a specific author listed. And then I pick up some of her stuff. Tatiana Bogema, Stolova. This was her collection book. She came out with some collection books this summer. I know she came out with a couple of the compilations of her pen and ink drawing ones, and I can't remember what those are titled as. And I didn't actually pick those up, even though I kind of like those, but I hadn't gotten a lot of her nice little town books. I'd only gotten a few of them, and so I kind of like that she put this compilation book out. Now it's specifically the ones that feature the mice, so it's just her books 4 through 11. It does not include like her Christmas or her holidays or her Atlantic, and it doesn't include the first 3 that had no characters in it. But this was such a massive book. It is huge. Because it is 200 images, which, so if you go by book count, it's 400 pages, but 200 images. So it is just massive. The only issue with that is if you're trying to color some of these last pages, you're gonna have to break the binding or something to kind of flatten that down. But yeah, this is a compilation of, so 11, nice little tiny 11 just came out earlier this year, and so that is included in this one. The last pages are that, and then it just goes through all the different books. And I have a full flip through of this one, so so if you want to look at that, you can take a look at that. And I did that so you could see that there's not a break between one book and the next. It just fluidly goes through all the pages. But so it's her whole thing. And now some of the books in here have a real light grayscale to them, but it's only the books that appeared as grayscale, and I don't know which specific ones they are. But so some of them will have, oh, here's one, and it has just this real faint grayscale. So it's not overwhelming. If you don't like grayscale, you can just kind of ignore it too. But that's not all the ones. It's just whichever books they happen to come from that happen to have included that. But yeah, so that is her entire nice little town mice books. So really cute. Really like that she came out with this book. So if you haven't picked these up and you've always been meaning to, it's a nice way to kind of get all the books in one go. So anyway, that will catch me up to kind of most of the coloring books that I picked up this summer, and I have featured a few in their own flip-throughs, but I haven't really gone through all of them, and I expect, especially the newer releases one, to do some flip-throughs of that. But sometimes it's just kind of nice to see, you know, snippets of books and look. And I know some people like the flip-throughs. I like to look up flip-throughs myself of books that don't have any images on Amazon, and I don't like to buy books blind. And that's kind of why I started doing the flip-throughs. Now, there are sometimes when other people have done the same flip-throughs, and that's okay. I'm not going to kind of pay attention to that, but I will put out most of the books that I do, even if they do have images, because sometimes the companies, and I really appreciate it when they do, they put out the images, and then they have a watermark so that people can't, you know, steal them, and that's great. But I still will do some of the flip-throughs for those. Anyway, so the idea is that some people don't like the flip-throughs. They just want to kind of see a snippet. Although I think that when I do my snippets, I take too much time describing them. Some people like the descriptions, but everyone kind of has their own style, so I don't want to like only cater to one people and not to others, but I realize that not every video is going to be for everyone. So anyway, I will get to some of my other videos that I've been planning. I haven't really done any coloring, so that I haven't had anything to film for coloring, but I'm hoping to be working on some of my textures soon, although I can't promise when those will come out. Anyway, thank you all very much. Bye-bye.